Welcome to another Pick Apart a Tarot reading. I am here actually in the Hudson Valley again, visiting family, so a little bit of a different background. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this particular Pick Apart a Tarot reading. It's using a Celtic Cross spread, and there was a little difference in how the reader that submitted it interprets different positions and the way that I usually interpret positions. So I think that added a lot of depth actually to her reading. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get to take something away from all this. And if you do like it, please like, subscribe, and share. I always appreciate that. It helps more people like you that might enjoy this find the channel. Okay, let's get to our reading. This is a reading submitted to me, and it's a career reading. It's a Celtic Cross, but it's not the standard positions for a Celtic Cross, so I'm going to read you the positions. This is the present self, and we have the Ace of Cups here, and it's crossed by the Father of Pentacles, which is, I would guess, the King of Pentacles. Let's just start there. I printed up the email with the person's reading. And before I read their interpretation, because I haven't read it yet, I would like to just give my impressions. So there is something that the querent really wants, an opportunity that they're very emotionally attached to right now. So it might not be necessarily the most practical career choice right now, but it's something that their heart really wants to do, which me personally, I think everybody should do what their heart tells them to. So this is a career or something that this person really has their heart set on. It's crossed by the Father of Pentacles, and the first thing I think of is it's probably the person's father or someone that controls the money strings and is putting pressure on this person to choose a career that's more financially sound. So maybe this is not a good financial step for them, even though it's something they really want to do. They have this, either they have a guilt because of something instilled in them by another person, maybe a father or a partner or somebody in their life that has a strong influence on them or that's paying the bills right now. And that's kind of what's getting in their way. So let's see what this person has written. Present self, Ace of Cups. In my current situation, I'm leaving things open-ended, seeking all kinds of life for growth. I continue to radiate in good spirits as I embark on this new career path I'm setting for myself. I'd like to point out the empty cup. So she sees this cup as empty. Interesting. I see this as a cup lacking water. Display doesn't make it any less valuable, attractive than pictures of cups with water in it, on it. Instead, it is replaced with colorful bathroom-looking wall tiles. Okay, I saw this like a snake skin, or like a wire mesh, but wall tiles, I can see that. Which are very bright and beautiful, and they are. I sense this cup being me. Means that I will have something worth offering in the future. Maybe instead of water, I'll have something even better. Or maybe I'll come back and hold so much water I surprise people. That's really awesome. This person is reading for themselves. This pick apart thing is not to make anything that person interpreted in their reading wrong. So I'm not going to say anything about the interpretation, but I'm going to maybe add to it as we go, because I'm not here to make anybody wrong or change the interpretation. But I think it's interesting that the person saw the cup as empty. I think it's really could be either way here. because you really can't see what's in the cup from this angle. The other thing is, I would say, is this is the present self. And she is interpreting it as something she might be. So what I'm getting from that is that this opportunity, she's attached to it emotionally because she thinks it's going to help her become a person that she envisions herself becoming. And she thinks that this career path will help her get there. Okay. The problem, or what we would typically say, is crossed by the Father of Pentacles. So she has, funny that the first person I think of is my father. I see him coming in and making decisions for me instead. It's true, my mother has told me he wants me to go back to school, but he doesn't know what I want. He comes in and provides financial support for me, an empty cup that radiates rainbow energy. Yes, showing I am talented, but he doesn't seem to understand. He doesn't know me. He is more focused on providing support. In his eyes, I am probably just a cup with no substance. Gosh, this is why I struggled with my terms as I grew up with people doing things for me. His weapon has a stronger hue of rainbow. So she sees the antler as weapons. When you are in a position of doing everything yourself, you're used to being the provider. He probably doesn't realize that this could limit my personal growth. I would say that the first two cards she's interpreted very well. These are her personal interpretations of the cards. And obviously she's linked the Father of Pentacles with her own father. And it makes sense because she said he does pay the bills and provide for her, provide support for her. And she's correct when she says she sees him as still wanting to do this. So so she's got the first two cards interpreted very well. These are her perceptions of the imagery in the card, and that's great. And we can see exactly what she thinks of this opportunity and how she thinks her father might be blocking that or is a problem in this situation. So in the past, we have the Fool. So she writes, I'm just going to throw what comes to mind first. In the past, I may have led a spirited life, probably in the process of figuring out what I wanted to do. I've explored around by doing gigs to try to gain experience. I also probably didn't think too much of anything. My curiosity and desire to explore have led me to want to explore the path of a tech career. I want to see how far I can come. Okay, so she's saying that these dreams from her past of exploring many different things. So she's looking at her younger self and how she liked to explore things. When we do a Celtic Cross, one of the things I often do is I see when in the past she had a spirited life and liked to explore and try different things to gain experiences. How does that affect the current situation she's in now? So in the past, she might have had more freedom. The father wants her to go back to school. So now, instead of having the freedom to explore, because I guess as a child, you have that ability, she's feeling the loss of that because now I guess she's being prepared for responsibilities. So I can see how she's struggling even more because she really does want to explore something different. So this past card, it isn't just what happened in the past. When you read a Celtic Cross, you want to see how the energies of the Fool are affecting the current situation. Okay, and in this case, she's going back and thinking about when she was younger and was able to do so many different things. And that's who she really is. And she already stated she doesn't think her father understands that. And the problem is he supports her, so he's used to making decisions for her. All right. So let's not forget the problem here as we look to the other cards for solutions as well. All right, so we have established her past of being free-spirited, curious, an explorer, and now she's found something that she feels will fill her cup, okay? Or she feels emotionally will fill her cup and help make others see her as something, I guess, worthy. And now let's look, she goes from the past, she goes right to the future, which is the Nine of Pentacles. Now, when I look at the future card, I don't just see this is going to happen in the future. What I see is this is more of a potential future that she could possibly bring into being. So not just simply the future. And it really will help your readings unless you want to predict the future, and some people divine. But when I read, I'm looking at, here's your future potential, the Nine of Pentacles. So I would say that this woman has a really good idea going here. She has a plan to explore this new career, but her father wants her to go back to school. All right, so she says of the Nine of Pentacles, I think in the short future, I might need to be more focused. Okay, so she's seeing this as something she needs to be. I see this as the potential of what she can become. In contrast with the traditional Nine of Pentacles, where the user proudly displays their work, the imagery of the wild unknown gives me a sense of secrecy almost. Like I need to secure my resources and spend them carefully. The red background gives me feelings of passion, which seem to back up my idea of staying focused and being more serious. The future will serve as a prominent time for my career growth. What I want is to be in a place of financial stability and also acquire wisdom in my profession. So there's a lot here. So she's seeing this as what she needs to be more of, which would be more of an advice position. I see this as where she's headed. And so she's definitely reading very intuitively. She's going by the imagery and what it means to her, which is also how I tend to read. We can also pull in the standard meanings of the tarot card, which she does a little bit. The Nine of Pentacles is like the pinnacle of success financially. So if I were reading for her, I would say you have the potential to reach the financial success and the career success that your father is wanting for you. That this is definitely a potential she could reach. And if she sticks with her guns, which I haven't gotten to this card yet, this is conscious. I'm not sure what unconscious means. Maybe subconscious. I think in the shorter term, or proudly displays their work. So it's really like she is having a hard time seeing herself as successful. Okay, so in the position 4, which she reads as future, she has the Nine of Pentacles. In contrast with the traditional Nine of Pentacles, where the user proudly displays their work, the imagery of the wild unknown gives me a sense of secrecy, probably because it's surrounded by the feathers. So secrecy, like I need to secure my resources and spend them carefully. Okay. Scarcity mindset. The red background gives me feelings of passion, which seems to back up my idea of staying focused and being more serious. The future will serve as a prominent time for my career growth. I agree with her. What I want is to be in a place of financial stability and also acquire wisdom in my profession. So I will say that this does give me a sense of wand kind of fieriness. There's feathers, which I associate with air. And so the powerful mindset and drive leading to this financial security is definitely portrayed here. So how is all of this leading to this kind of state of mind? She's seeing it as a state of mind or kind of a behavior she's needs to exhibit in the future. I see it as a place she's heading towards with her current mindset, which is she is emotionally attached to this solution. I see resolve here. So before I look at this in relation to other cards, let's just look at these last two positions. And then I'll go a little more into, I looked at how the Fool affects this. I'll look at how all of this sending energy towards this potential outcome. So above, she has as consciousness. Usually the one, I read the above position as options, like things you can do right now to get to your goal, or options on dealing with certain situations. But we'll read it. Her interpretation is, I think this one is loud and clear. I'm very determined in acting on my desire. That's exactly what I was picking up here. I am doing what I can to get where I want. Good for her. I have to remember patience is extremely crucial at this point. Yes, I assume she's living with her parents, and if she is, there has to be, so she has to respect the house rules. I'm doing what it's good. I have to remember patience is extremely crucial at this point, so I have to learn to refrain from reckless tendencies. So I don't see anything here that represents reckless tendencies, like something like the Knight of Wands, or maybe even more so the Knight of Swords. But that's how she feels. But I see this strong resolve. I see this passion for what she wants. And the unconscious, the Father of Wands, that is pure willpower to make this happen, right? So I haven't read hers yet, but let's talk about the relationship now. So this knowing that she is resolved, so she is decided already, and that's this conscious thing. And this is this firm yet respectable. She says she has to be patient, resolve to do what she wants, not necessarily what her father wants. So, and this is deep underneath it all. This is a king. They make something happen. They are driven by sheer will, yet they're kings now, so they know how to take that energy and funnel it in a productive way, in a way that gets results. So I think that those two attributes are absolutely affecting this card. She did this reading for herself, so she sees this as something she needs to exhibit the traits of. But I am saying that with these two cards here, especially her resolve, that is what is going to make her successful, because it's truly something she wants inside. I just think that the thing that she wants is really to be recognized, and not so much this position, but what she thinks this position will achieve for her. But either way, it's something that she sincerely wants, and she's set to get it, no matter what. So I think there's a good possibility that she will meet this potential. So now let's move on to the staff. The 7 represents your influences. I read the 7 as like self-image, how we see ourselves in this situation. But I'm going to read it from the querence, or the person's perspective. She's the reader as well. So she has High Priestess. It's a tiger with a crystal ball and the moon. It's a dark sky. I have multiple interpretations. 1, I'm being guided by tarot, spiritual. And 2, I know what I want and who I am, and taking on a new path of change to the unknown. Yes, I agree. My focus is on my goal, as well as being open to the unknown may lead me to learn things. I can't help but feel how exciting it would be. The image of the High Priestess also makes me think of a mysterious animal watching you from a far distance as it watches you walk through the woods. I'm going to trust myself and also embarking to the unknown. Well, awesome. And I think this is a great way to see herself. So yes, she's using the tarot. She knows what she wants. So the High Priestess is all-knowing. And another thing that I see personally with the High Priestess is in their all-knowingness, they remain calm through all challenges because they know that everything is working out according to the book that they hold, which I think of as the Akashic Records, right? So they know that no matter what your choice is, things will roll out as they should. And they're not worried about the kind of things that we worry about. The other thing about this High Priestess that I wanted to say is that, and being patient, we talked about before being patient with the Strength card, right? The High Priestess is very patient, but a tiger. So think about a tiger and many other felines that are hunters. How patient they are. They watch, they wait, they bide their time for the perfect opportunity. So she knows that she has to be patient. She knows she has to wait for the right opportunity for this all to work out well, but she also knows she's going to do this. Intuitively, deep inside, she knows that this is the right path for her. And I really love her interpretation of this card. But I also wanted to point out that relationship with this conscious card, what she knows, which is her, in my interpretation, would be her options. She can be patient. She can wait for the right time to improve the probability of this outcome. So the other thing I want to point out is that this card is also related to all these cards up here and how she sees herself in this situation, or your influences, your personal influences on the situation, how you are influencing the situation, is that this yearning in her heart is making her patient. What she knows the problem is, she's dealing with by being patient. And she has that calm veneer because she knows intuitively through this reading, and probably just in her heart, she knows that this is what's meant to be. And I see this maturity coming on from the past, where we had this little chick, the explorer of the fool, to, you know, like living in the moment, to now living all moments at once. It's almost as if she can feel the future unfolding. She's almost there. All right, so next is external influences, and that's the Magician. What a great card to get in this position. I call this position resources, but it sounds similar. So she writes for this, others may perceive me to be in a position of privilege almost. After all, I have tarot decks, access to the internet, and a large house. I can practically do whatever I want. But again, I'm not interested in settling into a life of comfort right now. Yes, I want to stay there, but I know I need to take risks and utilize my resources to get where I want. The tiger says, let me access that coin later. The coin. He's looking into the future. The cat is looking to the right. Why? Because he knows something out there could be worth it. But he must learn to work with what he has and can access to get there. Good. Yes. He's also expressing dissatisfaction with the things in front of him. Definitely, I'm not interested in taking people's advice when it comes to my career path. I finally have an idea of where I want to go, and I will rely on my means to get there. So the only thing I'll say about this is, first of all, that was a very intuitive interpretation. Intuition is, your intuitive messages are very important. I would say even more important than the canned meanings of the cards. That being said, I feel like she didn't read this card in the context of the position, which is external resources, right? What exactly did she call it? Yes, external influences. What is this influence? She's saying that this is kind of how she feels. She's putting herself in this card. And really what this is it's what is outside of her. What is influencing her? What's all around her? I would say that she, with the keeping in mind the magician's meaning as well, is this is pure potential. The magician is drawing the energy from above and making it into a reality here on earth. That is what this person wants to do. She wants to start this new career, and she's determined. And this in the external position is telling me she will have all the tools she needs to make this happen. They will be available to her. Drawing in on those resources, however, is not enough. She needs to form them into a reality. All those messages she got from that interpretation are still very important, because there's this really strong, it's very important. If I think of her as the querent, it is important, the messages she gets when she sees the cards, or the reactions she feels, or any person feels that you're reading for. However, it's up to you to keep the context of the positions and the question in mind. So I would say, this is going to work. You're going to be provided with all the resources. You have the inner drive. You have the know-how to get there. You will get the money, and you're emotionally driven as well. It's what you really want in your heart. And if this potential comes through, she will have her schedule down. She will have her budget made. She says she has to live within her means. She will stay in the house. She has a roof over her head. She has everything that she needs, which is good. So she can make this happen. She's looking to the future, because the future that she sees for herself is what is going to drive her to make this a reality. And I think that's why this magician card is looking towards the future, is because what he's drawing on now is like literally creating the future as you go. So that's how I would see that differently. So let's go to the hopes and fears card. I actually read this card as expectations, because what we hope for or fear happening is what we expect. So Ace of Swords. Here I see another rainbow and the infinity sign, and she caught the rainbow in the card representing her father. I would make a link there. So let's see what she says for the Ace of Swords as the hopes and fears. I feel like I may be afraid to be truly honest with how I feel and what I want. I desire to be in a place of someone who can be honest without worrying about what others think. Deep down, I hope for someone to appreciate my unlimited creative ideas and my gift of communication. Work with me to make my creation come to fruition. But it seems I fear being criticized. That's a great interpretation, and I believe in you, just so you know. Ace of Swords, I think she nailed the interpretation. It's almost as if she wants the truth to be known, but she fears the consequences. But I think it would be a great relief to her if she didn't have to keep it inside of herself anymore. She could just be who she is and not worry about the consequences of that, the judgment of that. All right, so let's get down to the outcome. I call this the new focus, because after you've gotten through all this, which I would say she is made up her mind already, so it's going to happen. And really, she knows, I think, what she needs to do to work around her father, and so that his expectations and demands can be circumvented and without disrespecting him, because she knows she needs to be patient, and she knows she needs to utilize the things that her parents are currently providing for her. She wishes she could just tell them that this is who I am, but she's afraid. And now the Son of Wands. Now this is about, deep down inside, she has that King of Wands in her. And the next phase is to slowly let that come out. And the first phase is going to be her exploring this new career opportunity that she has her heart set on. And there's a lot of fire in this reading. There's a lot of air energy, which also makes that fire even brighter. It's going to overshadow that fear of rejection. She is going to set out very soon. That is the next phase. Now she's kind of making the plans inside of herself, and this is going out there and taking what she wants. So out comes Son of Wands. In the end, I am going to strike. Yes, her energy is going out there. I've gotten the foundational aspects of my career taken care of, and now it's time to put things in action. Perhaps I'll be exploring what's out there and figuring out how I can make my ideas a reality. The big picture here is taking multiple measures and selling myself. So she knows that the Son of Swords, which is, I guess, the page, that's about exploring and really kind of getting that momentum going, starting to express yourself. It's letting that energy out. She is going to start expressing who she is and what she wants. Things are moving slowly at this time. I'm staying open-minded to ensure I'm receiving as much learning and resources as I can and ignoring concerns. I've lived a confusing, relaxed time in my life, but now is the time to stay focused, as things will get even more serious. With my determination, patience, and passion, it will lead me to where I want. Additional guidance from tarot, spiritual advisors, mentors, etc. will be very helpful in my personal and professional growth and may help me express myself better by encouraging me to do what feels right. The outcome here tells me this is just the beginning of my journey of self-growth and on my way to independence. Maybe. And I'll need to rely on my motivation and creativity. I hope you don't lose this momentum, because I think that is a good summary of this. I think you're much stronger than you know, relating these two cards together. This is an ace, And yes, it represents the truth. And so secretly, the truth being revealed would be such a relief, because then you no longer have to hide something that is a part of you. Aces are also opportunities. So if there is an opportunity to tell your father what you really want and what you've learned so far and what your plan is, will you take it? I think the energy around you achieving this is very good. You know what you want, you know what you have to do, you have the strength to do it. And again, I see a lot of fire energy. I actually see a good balance of energies with the Ace of Cups in the center and the only cup in the whole reading. You have this opportunity finally to live something that's from your heart instead of practical or smart. I hope that your will prevail and that you will follow your heart and continue to be curious. Always know that each step you take, you're closer to where you want to be. There's only one sword and there's only one cup. There's a couple of pentacles and there's a couple of wands. But the one cup and the one sword are both aces, which is opportunity. So it's like, I see you with this fiery will being suppressed by the practicality of pentacles. But there's this new inner knowing. There's this truth that needs to come out, and it's the truth of your heart. And this experience you're going through right now is this opportunity for you to learn to speak from your heart, to live from your heart, and to align all these energies around what you really want instead of what is expected of you. I'm gonna call this reading complete for now. I hope this helps the person that sent it in. I feel really good about their future, and great reading. Thank you for sharing it.